Good morning, my beautiful Barca babies. It is time to wake up and Barca live Barcelona news coming at you from here on the Undefeated channel. In today's episode, of course, we will be talking about Capitan Sergi Busquets talking away from Barcelona. We'll be talking about that. We'll do a little match preview for Barcelona versus Espanyol. Chance to lift the trophy. We won't actually be lifting the trophy, but you know what I'm saying. Chance to wrap up the La Liga title. So we'll be discussing all that and more on today's episode of Wake Up in Barca, live Barcelona news. If you want to be part of the conversation, getting in your thoughts, giving your questions, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can participate in the chat, connect with your fellow culés, support the badge, support each other as we say goodbye and close out a true era dominance for Barcelona. Sergi Busquets. All right, with that out of the way, let's kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Fabrice, I see you in here, says, I'll catch up with you later on. Well, sounds good, buddy. Happy to have you. Of course, the big news, my friends, as we've said, whoops, wrong button there. Hang on, what am I doing? There we go. That's the button that we want. As Fabrizio Romano has confirmed, of course, good morning to you, Midway, says Sergio Busquets leaving Barcelona. It's official. Legend of the club, 18 years, 3 Champions League titles, 3 FIFA Club World Cups, 8 La Liga trophies, 3 UEFA Super Cups, 7 Copa del Rey's, 7 Spanish Super Cups, and that's not even touching his international trophies. All right, a true legend of the club. I know that he's had his fair amount of criticism over the last, we'll say, 3-4 years, okay, but there is nobody like Sergio Busquets. There's nobody like him, and he's been our guy for the last 18 years. Look at this stat. Busquets has missed 18 games with injuries in his entire career at Barcelona. Irreplaceable for the team. Absolutely incredible. He's only missed 18 matches. He is the last member of honestly, the 2 best clubs that I've ever seen. The 2 best teams that I've ever seen. 2008, 2009 Barcelona, and then the 2011 Barcelona, which was probably better. I enjoyed the 2008 and 9 version of Barcelona a little bit more, but 2011 was probably better. Good morning, Caleb. Good morning, Greg. How we doing, friends? We'll leave you on this one. Rashad Rahman, quoting Vicente Del Bosque, the former Spanish national team manager, says, "You watch the game, you don't see Busquets. If you watch Busquets, you'll see the whole game." Absolute legend. Thank you, Sergi Busquets, for everything. I honestly just, when I heard the news, of course, I shed a few tears, as I did with Xavi, with Iniesta, with Puyol, right? These guys that give you these memories that bring so much joy to our lives. And when it's gone, it's gone. Nothing lasts forever, my friends. This is a good reminder that we got to appreciate what we have when we have it, right? I know that, as I mentioned, he's gotten some criticism over the last few years. Xavi's done a lot to come up with a formation and some tactics that allow Busquets to not have to rely on being so mobile, we'll say. And I think some of you, maybe missed out on enjoying the last few years through that negativity. So I think it's a good lesson to always appreciate the players while they're here, because you never know when it's going to end. You never know. So thank you, Sergio. I love you. Love you, love you, love you. Can't say enough about him, folks. I could sit here forever talk about Sergi Busquets, but there are other things that we need to get to. All right, we'll be discussing a full match preview for Barcelona Espanyol. We'll go over a lineup. We'll talk predictions. There's a new Barcelona kit, the away one we'll take a look at. Plus, course, we'll talk about maybe some potential replacements for Sergio Busquets. I'll turn to the chat. I'll see who's hanging out with us. And voice is a bit low. Okay, I can turn that up. How about that, my friends? How we feeling now? How's that volume? I'm also a little bit raspy. Got some allergies going on, so apologies for that. But good morning to you, Max. Good morning, Midway. Like I said, it says we can win the league against Espanyol. Absolutely, that's what we got on the table. A win against Espanyol, and also I think if Atletico and Madrid drop points before us, then I think we win the title. But hopefully we just get it on a victory. You know what I'm saying? Grimish says for the championship we can finally win. Absolutely. Good morning to you, Grimish. Everyone else who's hanging out, I appreciate you stopping in. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on Busquets. Is this the right time? Should we have maybe pushed a little harder to renew for another season? What do you think? Is it how are we feeling about Busquets walking away at the end of this season? Paul says good afternoon. Good morning. Back to you. Good afternoon. My guy working out, cutting the football pitches up in the universe today, in Inverness today. Paul, I have no idea what you're saying. It's too early for me to understand. You're Gray says it's not going to be easy. Espanyol fighting for their La Liga survival, and they won't want us winning the title at their place. That is 100% accurate. Of course, they are our bitter rivals. We'll be playing them Sunday at 3 o'clock. We will be doing a live watch along right here on the Undefeated channel, so make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you turn on notifications so you come hang out with us Sunday. Excuse me, we'll be going live just a little bit before kickoff. We'll go over lineups. We'll reiterate our predictions. Barcelona right now pulling away at the top. Got a big old lead. Big old lead. We got 13 points there over Atletico Madrid, 14 over Real Madrid. A win against Espanyol, who's struggling. We got to scroll all the way down here. They're 19th. 3 points from safety. More than, because they got that goal differential to worry about. So really, they're 4 points from safety with only 5 matches left. This will be, I would say, a nail in the coffin for Espanyol. Barcelona are definitely going to win this one. We're going to go over lineups. We're going to go over predictions here in just a few moments, my friends. But again, another reminder, subscribe to the channel if you want to be part of the conversation. If you're watching this on replay, let me know down in the comments what you think about Sergio Busquets leaving. How are we feeling going into Sunday's match against Espanyol? Jamel, good morning to you, says, I wish we could have heard Ray Hudson's commentary for Busquets' final match. Man, that would have been amazing. Absolutely to that. Ray Hudson, my favorite commentator of all time. The energy, the creativity, the charisma that he brings. He is absolutely one of my favorites. And had some really nice words to say about Busquets, actually, if you look him up on Twitter. Grimash says, I'm fine with Busquets leaving. It's time. His condition won't be better next year. It would be harder for him to stay on the level. Fair point. Max says, I would break the bank for a right back and CDM if possible. Messi. And if possible, Messi. Gotcha. Greg says, possibly a proper backup striker too. Okay, we're already jumping into transfers, I guess. So before we go over lineups and predictions, let's talk a little bit about possible Busi replacements. There's really 2 CDMs that we're looking at, Zubimendi and Amrabat. Of the 2, which would you prefer? Amrabat, I think, is going to be a little bit tougher to get in terms of, Zubimendi is going to be a little bit tougher to get because of the 60 million buyout. That's a lot. That's a lot. Barcelona would have to make some moves for that. So I think Amrabat would actually be the easier of the 2 to get. Or do we just wait on Gundogan, get him for free? He will come at a higher salary, but he would play more of a box to box, a number 8 or basically a number 8 for us, and Frankie would become that full-time pivot position. That's really our options. We either splash a lot of cash on Zubimendi, we go through some hard negotiations to try to get Amrabat, or we cough up what will be reportedly a high salary for Gundogan, bring him in. Or do we get two of the three? Barcelona, again, trying to make some moves this summer. It's going to depend on who we can sell. But what are you thinking? Now that Busquets is stepping away. Also, didn't pull it up, but just sitting here thinking about, is this an opportunity for Nico? Of those four midfielders, who do you think is going to be really the one that maybe doesn't fill in for Busquets necessarily, but takes up that playing time? Whether it's Frankie de Jong playing the pivot and we have Gundogan out there, or is it Zubamendi, or is it Amrabat, or is it going to be Nico? Who steps up and gets that time? What do we think, folks? Midway says, Zubamendi is obviously the perfect replacement, but I don't think we can afford him, so Amrabat is also good. Max says, Zubi is what Xavi wants, but Amrabat is what he will get. Gundo won't cut it at CDM. Yeah, I think if we're looking at Gundogan joining us, then Frankie goes to CDM, and it'll be Gundogan and Pedri as the two center mids playing box to box there as the interiors. Greg says, if we can get him, Amrabat isn't the worst option. He shined at the World Cup. That sounds like people are not as excited for Amrabat as I thought. I thought he was going to get a little bit more love. Midway giving a shout out to Nico. Greg says, but is there more to do with how Morocco play? Okay, so maybe that's the hesitation there, thinking that it's not so much Amrabat, but more Morocco. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Fiorentina over there in Serie A, unfortunately. So the most I've seen of Amrabat is at the World Cup. So any Amrabat fans out there that have a better opinion, please let us know down in the chat. Caleb says, if the players linked with Barca do eventually come, does Gavi start matches? That's a good question. If we get ourselves a proper left wing and we get somebody like a Gundogan, Gavi's going to take a pretty big hit to his playing time. There's going to be more rotations going on. But here's the thing. Don't count your chickens. We don't know who's coming in yet. You know? We don't. But if we keep Abde and we bring in Gundogan or Zubamendi or Amrabat, yeah, Gavi's playing time might get cut. That's a fair point. Players that are likely to have their playing time cut, Gavi, possibly Koundé. If we get ourselves a proper right back and Koundé has to rotate with Araujo and Christensen, I think our best pairing is still Christensen and Araujo, and Koundé would be the third there. Interesting. We'll see, folks. It's gonna be a very interesting summer. It's gonna be a very, very interesting summer, we'll say. One other piece of the transfer news. Apparently Barcelona, according to Fabrizio Romano here, have now made a contract proposal to Dembele that will extend, I heard, until 2026. 3-year contract. Current deal expires in 2024. Includes $50 million release clause in the summer. So if we don't get him to sign something here in the next 2.5 weeks, someone can come and snatch Dembele for $50 million. Someone like a Chelsea, like a Bayern Munich, like a PSG. It can happen. So get ready for curveballs, folks, is what I'll say to that. Get ready for some curveballs. It's going to be a wild summer. It for sure. Make sure you stay tuned in, all right? There's going to be players coming and going left and right, and I don't think it's going to be everything that there's going to be some turns that we don't expect. Okay. Midway says Gavi's only 18 years old. Nothing wrong with him being benched. I agree with that. Having him rotate in, playing under somebody like a Gundogan for a couple years, I'm not going to freak out about it. Not going to freak out about it. Anyway, folks, I think it is time to jump on over and talk a bit more about Espanyol versus Barcelona. Again, that match is going to be Sunday, 3 o'clock. Come hang out with us for the live watch along. I got you covered for the commentary, the play-by-play. You won't miss any of the action here on the Undefeated channel. And Barcelona coming in, sitting top at number 1, chance to win La Liga, clinch the title against Espanyol, who are sitting in 19th, fighting a relegation battle. Going to potential lineups for this one, my friends. We jump over to this screen here. There we go. Over some lineups. What's Xavi thinking? How's he going to bring out the boys versus Espanyol here? Who's going to be able to secure the trophy for us? Of course, it starts in the back with the trusty Ter Stegen. Big boy doing big things on his way to securing the most clean sheets of any keeper of all time in any European league. This is what we're looking at for Ter Stegen. I called it at the top of the season that this was going to be a big year. Proved me right. Thank you, Ter Stegen. Left back, we're going Balde. We don't know what's happening with Jordi Alba yet. Big money is owed to him at the end of this season. I digress a little bit, but with Busquets walking away, who knows what Jordi Alba is thinking now. So I think he starts on the bench, gives Balde the opportunity to close this season out strong. Koundé is going to be our right back. Of course, we really don't have any other options. It's just a given. It's going to be Koundé. Christensen and Araujo, both fit, both available. The best 2 center backs in Europe right now, in my opinion. Name me a better pair besides Christensen and Araujo. Playing in front of him, Busquets. This will be his last match securing the La Liga trophy for one more time. Excited for him to do it. He'll be holding down that pivot spot. Frankie de Jong will be to his left. Pedri to his right, playing box to box there. The magic man. Little Pedri Potter. Excited for him to close out the season strong. Had some injuries this year, but working it out. Lewandowski, speaking of working it out, I think he's going to have a big match here. We'll get to predictions here next, but Lewandowski's going to get the start in the striker position. Gavi starting on the left. This is the one that maybe it's going to be Ansu, maybe it's going to be Ferran, but I think he goes with the 4 midfield. I think Gavi gets the start, and then Dembele. Now that he's had a couple matches off the bench, back from injury, I think he's ready to start. I think he's good to go. He'll be our right wing for the day. And in terms of predictions, I'm going Dembele with 2 assists, one of them going to Lewandowski, and one of them going to Frankie de Jong. It's going to be a 2-0 victory for Barcelona. You might see some of these players off the bench. I'm thinking Rafinha will get some time. I'm thinking Ansu will get some time. Kessié, probably Ferran Torres. You might see Jordi and Roberto come on just for cameos as we wind down the match. If we are secure, if we got the 3 points secured, we're winding down the match. You might see the captains come on. That might happen, but I don't think they start. I think this is what we're looking at right here. Our go-to starting 11. When everybody's fit, everybody's healthy, this is our go-to lineup. Why not start with that, finish the year strong, and then, like I said, maybe as cameo appearances, maybe get Jordi Alba, Roberto, get Rafinha on there. I would say those 3 are the most likely. Then second tier that you might see off the bench, Ferran, Kessié, Ansu Fati, Pablo Torre, maybe. But I think it would be nice to finish the year, win the trophy with the captains on the pitch. They're just not going to start. That's what I'm thinking. 2-0 to Barcelona. Dembele with 2 assists. Lewandowski goal. Frankie de Jong goal. Lock it in. That's what I'm going for with my predictions. What do you all think? Let me know your thoughts down in the chat. We'll keep the conversation going. If you're watching on replay, let me know down in the comments. Oh, that's right. Roberto did pull a hammy, didn't he? Did pull a hammy in the last match. I forgot about that. Scratch that. Scratch Roberto from the lineup. Look, he's not even. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Roberto, he's injured. Silly goose. We didn't have him in the lineup. Nonsense. What are we thinking, folks? Lineup predictions, scoreline predictions. Let me know your thoughts. Greg says 2-0 Lewandowski and Gavi getting one. I would love for Gavi to get a goal. It's been a minute for Gavi, I think, and he probably needs one there. Grimash says, I think it will be a good day in the office. 3-0. Lewandowski gets 2. Busquets gets 1. I think some players might give him a chance when the result is settled. Maybe. We'll see. That would be pretty interesting. We'll say if Busquets gets a goal to lift the La Liga trophy for Barcelona. My goodness, I'm losing my words already. So there's lineups, there's predictions. We're going to end on this one, my friends. We're going to jump over, take a look at potential leaked away kit for Barcelona 23-24. We're going white kit with a blue stripe on one sleeve, red stripe on the other, blue shorts, and then the looped socks, the red and blue, white Nike check on the front. What do we think about this? I'm still kind of processing this one. I like it. I just don't know if I like it for Barcelona, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm going to give it like I give the kit itself an 8, but I don't like Barcelona wearing white, so I'm going to give it a 7. Mixed reaction, mixed feelings from me. Let me know your thoughts. What would you rate this kit? Are we okay wearing a white kit? I know some of you are already saying, "Oh, Barcelona wore a white kit this season." It was gray. It was gray. It wasn't quite white. This one very much is. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know what we're thinking. Again, if you took Barcelona's badge off this, I think it's an 8. You give it to a Crystal Palace or something like that, awesome. Give it an 8. I don't like Barcelona wearing white, so I knock it down to a 7. But that's okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. We'll see. And again, it's leaked. It's not confirmed yet. We'll see. And then we'll see what happens for a Barcelona third kit. Who knows? Who knows where we're going? But what would you rank this kit? What are your predictions for the match coming up against Espanyol? And again, a reminder to come hang out with us this Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be live just before kickoff. We'll talk about lineups. We'll go over predictions again. We'll get ourselves hyped up. And then it'll be live commentary, play-by-play action for the match. Barcelona versus Espanyol. Greg says, I don't know about that kit. It's a bit boring. Midway says, I don't like that it's white because of Madrid. Of course, there's those ties there. So I think there's going to be probably a lot of folks that are not happy about it. But again, let me know your thoughts. If you're watching down on replay, let me know down in the comments. Pretty much saying the kit is mid. Yeah. All right. So I think my 7 rating is probably maybe fair, if not generous then. But anyway, folks, like I said, come back and hang out Sunday, the live watch along. We're going to get out of here on that one. Again, love to Sergi Busquets. Let me know who you want to replace him down in the comments. Let me know your predictions for the match coming up, all that good stuff. Drop a like before you go if you're enjoying the content. I do appreciate you hanging out with us. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I'll see you Sunday for the Barcelona-Espanyol match. Until then, go out there and do good things. High fives and hugs for whoever wants them. I love you all very much. Talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride.